Welcome to Beyond the Press Release, a production of Gore Column in which we take the time to speak with small cap executives after they put out important news. And this is important news because the company raised $25 million. With us, you can see him on the screen, Steve Saviuk, CEO of Valeo Pharma, trades in Canada under VPH. For our friends in the US, VPHIF, and for our friends in Europe on Frankfurt under VP2. For those of you new to the story, you're going to love this one. If you like biopharma stocks, buy. Because typically when you hear about biopharma, you think about big R&D, long FDA clinical trials, cash burning companies, very high risk and very high reward. Valeo's turned that business model upside down on its head as a commercial stage, revenue generating and profitable Canadian pharmaceutical company right now. So what they do is they license and acquire the Canadian rights to commercial stage proprietary drugs and then commercialize them in Canada. So that in-license business model means no development or clinical risk with a lot of the upside. And we've got fantastic partnerships with the likes of Novartis and other great companies who have come to them and said, hey, why don't you take our companies and you become our partner in Canada? More than just lip service, two numbers you should know. 2020 revenue, $7.5 million. For the first 9 months of this year, already at $10.2 million, up 94% against what that number was at this time last year. Steve, welcome back. Congratulations, my friend.
George, wonderful to be back.
So here's the headline. You close an upsize financing deal, $25 million, $15 million a bought deal, and $10 million with Investment Quebec, the $50 million being with Desjardins. How great is it? First of all, we'll go into some specifics, but how great of it is to secure this kind of financing and not dilutive to shareholders?
It was a deal financing we've been working on for some time. It comes at a most opportune moment. As you know, this year we've launched 3 what we believe are company-changing drugs: our anticoagulant Redesca and 2 innovative asthma therapies, Enerzair and Atectura, that we licensed from Novartis. And we needed this capital to basically be able to support the growth. And the growth, when I say the growth, the commercial activities around these drugs, the working capital needed to support greater inventory and receivables, and leave some over for potential new opportunities. So this financing is our biggest yet. As you mentioned, it is a debt financing. It is convertible at a higher price than the stock's trading at now for a period of 3 years, and it's just puts us in a different league. Best working capital position in our history right now, and it's the right time. It's the right things coming together, the right products, the right people in terms of the team that we have, and now having a strong capital base.
It's always a good sign. I mean, it's a fantastic sign to see a large, well-known institutional investor such as Investissement Quebec coming on board. Was the rest of the deal mostly placed with institutional investors as well?
That's correct. Investissement Quebec was our lead investor with $10 million under the same terms as Desjardins, the money that Desjardins was able to raise for us. From that additional $15 million, over 9 came from institutions. And I have to say, over 2 million came from insiders again. So our insiders continue to support the company through every round of financing, and that shows you how much we believe in the company. And I'm saying insiders, the employees, management, and the board of directors. So just an overall very uplifting financing. And one thing I can also say, it shows how the company is matured to be able to attract these type of investors. And again, I can't say enough about the relationship we've developed or developing with Investissement Quebec. We have a common vision of building a significant company based here, but across in Quebec, but across Canada and eventually internationally. And I think it speaks well that we believe that we are that. We have developed enough of a base in terms of our products and our team from which to build with and attract this type of sophisticated investor that also sees that strength that we're putting together.
Yeah, this type of third-party validation is rarely seen in the small cap space. And I want to add to that. I want to talk about 2 quotes. One was from Pierre Fitzgibbon, the Minister of Economy and Innovation in charge of regional economic development. and the other was Guy Leblanc, who's the president and CEO of Investing Small Quebec. I think Pierre's quote kind of captures it. I'm going to read this part. I want to get your feedback. By supporting the discovery and commercialization of innovative drugs, we are giving ourselves the means to improve the quality of life of many citizens in Quebec and around the world. Our government is proud to accelerate the growth of dynamic companies such as Valeo, which pursue this important mission every day. I mean, what does that say about your third-party validation there, that you have these kind of words coming out of ministers?
Well, again, it shows a strong belief in what we're doing. I certainly concur with him that we're bringing innovation to not just Quebecers but Canadians, and that is it's a good feeling to be able to improve the lives and make and provide our healthcare providers with physicians, pharmacists with options to treat their patients. So again, everything comes from a commonality of vision, of beliefs, of what we're doing. We feel good about what we're doing, but also the ability to be a commercially successful company and create a lot of benefits for people in general. That could be medical benefits, it could be employment benefits, and building something which will be, which as we are right now, a mid-tier pharma company, and eventually growing to a bigger tier pharma company, a true center of excellence, which having great commercial expertise, but also medical and technical expertise.
I know you talked generally at the beginning about what you're going to do with the money, the overall supporting the operation. But what I want to talk about, and on this, I want to refer to the quote of Guy Leblanc, who's the president and CEO of Business Small Quebec, who said, "Our team is proud to help propel." I really found that interesting. Propel promising companies that, like Valeo Pharma, give themselves all the tools to become leaders in the industry. So, what are the kind of things? I mean, because that's a pretty specific quote. They want to propel you to another level of growth. What are the kind of things, what are the maybe new kind of initiatives? There's some things you can touch on that you'll be doing with the proceeds here in order to propel the company's growth?
Well, this year, 2021, calendar 2021, was just a total game changer for us. We've gone from 30 employees to well over 100 employees. We have a commercial base across Canada with 70 people in that commercial team. And that means not just pharmaceutical representatives, but that means medical support behind them. So we have put the foundation in place. We've launched 3 innovative drugs, or 3 drugs that we believe are the cornerstone of our company, 2 that are highly innovative in Enerzair and Atectura for asthma sufferers, and Redesca, which brings big cost savings to the provinces and hospitals. These are going to be the 3 that propel us to that plus $100 million revenue range. But as we're talking about earlier, that's not where we want to, where this stops. I mean, we're continuously looking at new opportunities, how to leverage our commercial team and our head office. And I think, Valeo has growth for many years to come. And that's in part why insiders continue to participate in the financing. Everyone truly believes in the direction we're going. And it's really great to have the investment arm of the Quebec government that agrees with us and supports us. And it's true about all the institutions that put over $9 million in additional capital into this funding, that they really see the strength of the business plan. It's a great business plan and a great business proposition, but they're actually seeing execution on it. They're actually seeing the development, sales increasing, products being launched. And this is a very exciting time for Valeo Pharma.
And for investors at home, look, we can't give you advice or things like that, but I will say it goes a long way if you're in your due diligence phase, or if your shareholder considering, do I buy more, do I do? Well, these 2 groups just did all their due diligence, and they liked it enough that combined to invest, $25 million, not including the $2 million from the insiders, but $23 million or so just from outside money. So due diligence, I just wanted to add that part of it, Steve, that you don't really got to worry about the due diligence if you're considering where the company's going in the future.
Third-party validation is I think is something that's important for other people to look at. We have 3 analysts that follow our company, financial analysts that are very have recommendations to buy recommendations, so to speak, on the company. We've done an extremely big licensing deal with Novartis. There's and with really 2 very good products that are going to help asthma sufferers across Canada. So, a lot of highlights for 2021. But I can tell you, George, we're not one, and certainly I'm not one to sit on 2021 and say, we've done enough. Yes, the year is over. There's only a few days left in this calendar year. But 2022, we want to continue in that direction and have sitting here next year at this time. I want to be able to talk about even more highlights about revenue growth, about profitability, about potentially new products coming in, just all things that investors, that health, our mission is really to bring innovative medicines to Canadians to improve our lot. In other words, to give options to healthcare providers, to improve the lives of patients, to provide great employment for our staff and our management team, and also to provide, and not last but not least, is to provide a return to our investors. And we own, as insiders, over 50% of the company. So we're all in this together, and we think that having this common goal of making sure that all of the stakeholders benefit, and it's not just lip service. We live it and we breathe it. And putting our money in the company. I was
about to say that, putting your money where your mouth is.
Shows how much we do believe in it. And as I was saying we had a town hall meeting with our entire company a couple of days ago, first one across Canada, over 100 people. And I said, I will say we had a great year, but I also will say I still believe the best is yet to come. And that's something that I will never stop believing, that the best is, the future has a lot of potential, and we can't take the foot off the gas pedal. There's just too much to do.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm also going to presume this is going to do a lot for your pipeline, because if you've been talking to George Com Pharmaceutical and ABC Pharma, and maybe you've been close or ongoing discussions, those potential partners seeing Desjardins and the government step up to invest a significant money in you should take some of these right over the finish line, right? Where George Com says, hey guys, we always knew you're good. We saw you doing a good job, but now we're seeing you're cashed up from very reputable sources. Let's go. Am I wrong in presuming that, Steve?
Not at all. You're on the target there. I mean, the fact that we've got a solid portfolio of products with some true innovation, the fact that we've got the team that we have, and that's a strong commercial team, a strong medical team, a strong internal team, and now that we have the capital, those are the 3 elements that you need for success. And clearly other companies see it. A lot of our wins, read our press releases from this year, whether it be provincial reimbursement of the drugs, whether it be private reimbursement of our drugs, launching drugs. We're doing the types of things that potential partners like to see companies do. In other words, start commercializing drugs and all the aspects around it. So I take my hat off to our team. I'm very proud of them for what they've accomplished this year. But as I said, watch for next year. Next year should be even more exciting for us.
Love the confidence. Love the confidence. And on the execution side, you also just obtained public reimbursement for your 2 asthma products in Quebec and Nova Scotia. So when you add Alberta onto that, you now have 3 pretty big provinces representing about 37% of the Canadian population, which is fantastic. How do you expect progress to be on the rest of the provinces and onboarding them?
Yeah, we've had a lot of success this year with both our private and public reimbursement, and for your viewers, it's really a critical step for all pharmaceutical companies across Canada. Who pays for drugs? I often say, and you need the private insurers, the Sun Lifes of the world, and what have you. You need them on board to be able to pay on their company plans. But about half of Canadians rely on the public, on the various governments in the various provinces. So it's critical to have reimbursement for that. Not only can the patients access drugs because they're approved, but they can financially access drugs. In other words, there's someone to pay for these drugs. Alberta was our first province that came on board for Enerzair and Atectura. Now Quebec and Nova Scotia, We are in discussions with the remaining provinces across Canada, and I would expect that by early spring that most of those provinces, if not all, will be on board. So great private reimbursement for Enerzair and Atectura. We're over 90%. We should be at 100 sometime early in the new year, and we expect basically 100% coverage by early spring from the on the provincial level. And what this does is it just makes people, the accessibility to drugs increases, and I think that's important because what we want to have is that there's no barrier to anyone having access to our drugs. So if you need to take an asthma therapy and your physician decides that Enerzair or Atectura are the best choices, we want you to be able to get that product, and there should be no barrier to you being able to obtain it.
By the way, those approvals that you get from the provinces, is this a typical pace? Because all of us on the outside don't know. Is this the kind of pace you expected? Are you ahead of schedule, behind schedule? Maybe there's problems with Ontario and BC or something, or is this a standard kind of pace for getting the public reimbursement approvals?
We're actually ahead. This
Nice.
year, Redesca, which is our blood thinner, actually was, I think, almost unprecedented how quickly we got public reimbursement. And a lot of that has to do with the amount of savings that this drug was bringing to the provinces. So clearly there was a lot of motivation on their side to be able to get approval early. On the asthma side, normally these discussions with provinces go anywhere from 0 to 24 months, and with probably the norm being the high teens to the low 20s in terms of months. To be able to get reimbursement as we've done with Alberta, Quebec, and Nova Scotia in less than 12 months is quite unusual, and I think a lot of that stems from the quality and the benefits of the drugs, and also the fact that they're very economically priced. So there's provinces are liking the fact that not only can their constituents get the world-class therapies, but they're actually able to access them at very attractive prices from the provincial point of view.
It must also help that this is a product where you're in partnership with Novartis, and there's a lot of history. So probably that must help somewhat.
Yeah, Novartis is a wonderful company with a strong medical history, well regarded. Their clinical trials that they conducted for these two asthma therapies were world class and had over 7,000 patients around the world that participated. And they have been a very strong partner with us in developing some of the commercial plans and supporting us. And I can't say enough positive things about how Novartis has interacted with us. And again, these are drugs that are Enerzair and Atectura are being launched around the world. In Canada, we are the partner. In other countries, it's often Novartis or a third party that is the commercial partner. But we're very pleased to put together the team we did, and these two asthma therapies will be our big revenue growth drivers coming into over the next 3-4 years. And that's why I say I see that growth continuing for some period of time. And part of it is because asthma is just a very big therapeutic area. Almost 4 million Canadians suffer from some degree of asthma. That's a strong statement to make. There's a lot of people that will benefit from these two new therapies.
And I want to ask, they're launched earlier this year. How are they performing right now in terms of just feedback from doctors and from patients? How are they performing?
Yeah, strong support from physicians. Drugs, no matter which drug is launched, there is a curve where there's a interaction with physicians, multiple interactions, sampling, trial, and there's a curve of acceptance and utilization of a therapeutic product, whether it's an asthma therapy or others. We're on or above where we expect it to be. So very good comments from physicians. It's a very elegant drug to take. It's inhaled. There's a lot of benefits in terms of it's a once a day versus other older therapies that have multiple time per day dosing. So very excited about it. These two drugs. You'll hear a lot more about Enerzair and Atectura over the coming months and years as we provide our shareholders and the market in general with more more metrics on number of prescriptions, revenues, things of that nature.
Last question, Steve. Look forward to 2022. I know you've said, and I love the confidence, watch for us in 2022. Look what we're going to be doing. Are there a couple of specific catalysts that you can talk about, value creation events, give it, or is it more just, hey, watch for us, the pipeline is growing, we've got cash to the bank, and we expect execution just to accelerate? Oh, but if you can be a little more specific, if you're able, great. I got to ask. If not, I presume it's just execution is accelerating on all cylinders.
I think that's, if you asked our management team and our commercial team, I mean, right now it's all about execution. You know, we've onboarded, we've launched these 3 game-changing products for us. They can't take the eye off of those launches. That's where they have to focus. It's myself and our business development team that have to look at it a little bit more about what could be next, what will be our next area of focus. What will be the next products that we'll bring in that will maybe complement what we currently have. Can't say much about it. It's one of those things that, you know, things happen quickly or things happen slowly. The timing of these discussions or of finding new products is not something that there's no set rule for it. It can, but I would say that we do expect to be in a position to even accelerate our growth further with some of our other initiatives. But again, hats off to a team that is recently come together. Going from 30 to over 100 employees in a span of 3-4 months is certainly been a challenge for people in terms of hiring. But I'm very pleased about the team we put together, and that'll, as I said earlier, just follow the financial results. That's going to be one of the bellwethers of how well our drugs are doing, and we'll keep you, as we often do through interaction with you, George, sort of letting people know what's behind that press release a little bit, giving a bit more color so that they can appreciate. There's a lot. It's a bit like an iceberg in a certain way, where what you see is only 10% of what's there, and there's a lot of paddling going on and a lot of activity under the water, and that will certainly become evident over the course of not just months but the coming years. So we'll be back with more interesting news and insights with you in the new year, and I look forward to it.
Well, I think, as I speak on behalf of all shareholders too, when I do say the fact that you do these, Steve, is appreciated, because you're operating at a different level. Look, your phone's ringing, you're getting messages while you're on the interview. We know that. But the fact that you take the time to go beyond the press release, to do, like, it's a 22-minute interview, but you've given everyone great insight, a deeper dive, just is so valuable to everyone, and we appreciate it. And congratulations to you and the team, what you've done. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and can't wait to have you back on in January, or maybe sooner. I don't know, probably something sooner might happen, but probably not. We're Christmas, but congrats, my friend, and thank you.
George, it's always nice to be, and I commend you and your team at Agoracom for giving investors an insight into small cap companies that are typically, not covered by as many financial analysts. So it's harder to get information, and I've enjoyed my year with you, and I look forward to many more as our company grows and as your audience follows us through that growth.
Well, as soon as this COVID situation gets under control, you and I are going to be doing one of these side by side at the office. We'll do a walk and talk through the headquarters. Everyone can see the office area, the warehousing here, all of it. But I can't wait until then. But thanks for those nice words, Steve.
Thanks again, George.
To everybody at home, you've been watching or you've been listening by podcast on Spotify, Google, Apple, your favorite podcast platform. To Steve Saviak, the CEO of Valeo Pharma. Trades in Canada under VPH. For friends in the US, VPHIF, and for our friends in Europe under VP2. For those of you new to the story, because you saw $25 million financing, now you know why. Start your due diligence on Agoracom. Go to the profile page. We break down all the different elements of the company there so you can understand the company, and then head over to the company's website to do your deep dive due diligence. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. See you next time. Hey guys, this video is over, but don't forget to help your company by liking it and even leaving a comment below. And then don't forget to help yourself by subscribing to our channel and never missing another great Agoracom Small Cap video.